I'm Jane Lauterbach, and welcome back to The Purpose Works. Today we're going to talk about all those times that we think we goofed up, but we didn't, and also to find out why we think we goofed up. Stuffing up is actually quite normal. We all make mistakes. We all find different ways that we create disruptions and a little bit of havoc at work. And many times we kind of feel uncomfortable about that. And I would go to a friend of mine who would always wisely say to me, like, welcome to the human race. We're all doing it. In fact, there's a great statistic. How they actually got to this number, I'm not quite sure, but it's really kind of interesting, that we make 35,000 decisions every day. I think it's something like every 2 seconds. So in making all those decisions, large and small, no wonder we're all kind of goofing up somewhere along the line. There was also another study that was done. It was from the Identity Guard, and they reported the average American worker screws up 118 times per year. So that's twice a week. So no wonder it's not surprising that we're kind of in this rumble. Now we layer on all the social stuff as much as the work stuff, whether we have wardrobe mishaps or just plain old negligence. We forgot to write something down and we kind of missed a meeting, or missed doing something for somebody. Many times I know I hit the wrong button on my phone, and that creates a whole bunch of havoc. And then you layer on all the stuff that we do because we think it's really cool, and we wear a crown because we're really good at multitasking. And the more that we multitask, the more that we're actually not doing anything well because we're not paying attention and we're not listening. So there's sort of another sort of super highway of reasons why we make mistakes. Then we want to add on the other pieces of this, where the more mistakes we make, the more mistakes we made, because we add on this incredible kind of layer of judgment. And it's not a surprise when you think about if 80% of all of our thoughts are negative, no wonder we kind of are driving down that way. And if our thoughts lead to emotions, which then drive actions, no wonder we're constantly in this cycle of feeling that we're always making a mistake. We're not good enough. We're not doing something correctly enough, no matter how hard we think we try. And the reason is we are trying really, really hard. But we have this fear that we just don't want to show to anybody that we have some imperfections or that we do make mistakes. And so we want to make sure that we present ourselves in the best way possible. We pretend that we have no frailties. But leadership truly is about embracing our perfections. In some way, understanding what they are and working on them. And then there are always a few of those things that we just have to kind of let go. It's just sort of, an accident of things that happen, and not to kind of blame ourselves for any kind of misgivings or kind of misstep that we have. So we kind of want to have that shift in terms of how do we understand ourselves better? How do we move more towards personal compassion and have some perspective as we think about our lives every single day and all these choices and all these supposed mistakes that we made. Part of it is like take that sort of mirror that we put in front of ourselves all the time and just move it away a little bit. As my friend would say, she would say to me too, is it really true? Is it really true what you're creating? Because we make a picture, right? We create our story, and it's so easy to find all the evidence to support that picture, and before we know it, we've created that vision of what we think is there, but probably not. My favorite thing too is take a moment throughout the day. Just stop. I know it's super hard when we're in this mode and trying to get everything done, and you got to answer the phone and back to a Zoom call, and I got to write that report. But if you just stop, even for a minute, it's amazing what 1 minute can do. Just stop and catch your breath. When we're in stress, we can't breathe. We're kind of holding in our breath, and also our body sort of goes into this sort of tight kind of thing. So just try to kind of undo it a little bit and take 10 breaths, because that's going to give you some perspective and some way of seeing something to really understand, am I making it up? Is it really, really true? The other piece that we do is we add on pretty nasty language to ourselves. That was stupid, or I'm stupid, or somehow underperforming. The more that we use language like that any kind of language influences all of us. It's kind of part of our body language. It's our verbal language. So knock that stuff out. Really catch yourself. Do you really want to call yourself some of the names that you call yourself? So unhealthy. And the other piece of this is, while we need to kind of forget about some of these kind of crazy little silly things that we do that we kind of blow up to be really huge and call it a mistake, but take a look at the things that we are doing. I had one of my daughter's teachers way back when, like in kindergarten, she would say to me, I'll forget 50% about what I hear in school if you forget about 50% about what you hear from your kids when they come home from school. Meaning that things kind of get blown out of proportion, or they're kind of out of context. And so many times we kind of have to sort of push away 50% and kind of realize that's just, stuff we don't really need to hear, not really worthy of paying attention to. But there's probably a little bit of that where you kind of take a look at it and say, well, what do I need to learn from this? What do I gain from taking a look at it? Not in a discomfort way, not to kind of beat yourself upside the head, but what do I want to learn from this? Because the reason we kind of do all this is we want to be better. We want to constantly find ways that we continue to improve. So take a look at it, but take a look at it constructively. And I'm going to say this again because we many times don't have a model of our own compassion for ourselves. Giving yourself a little bit of slack. If you apologize to others, how come you don't apologize to yourself? And I say, give yourself a sense of appreciation and understanding. And here's the best part. Many times we can learn incredible things from our mistakes. And mistakes are truly the mother of invention. Without it, we never would have had penicillin, Post-it notes, the microwave, the pacemaker, Velcro, Coca-Cola, the X-ray, and most importantly, the ice cream cone. So we welcome hearing about the mistakes that you've made and how you've turned them into something that's been really sort of interesting, or something to improve on and take a look at, the ones that you're kind of letting go. Share those below. Meet us at The Purpose Works. We look forward to hearing your comments.